Hi, it's Dana of Madam Mac Jewellery. I am going to be showing you how I created this lovely fingerprint pendant using some soft sticky wax. Now I'm not going to be showing you exactly how to make this one because this one has a cast not set gem in it, but we're going to be making a plain one using the Ferris No. 6 red mould wax. So it's a big half-pound tub. Bit hard to get the lid off, as you can see, but it's this red sticky wax which is actually quite tricky to get out. So I'm going to be using this little spatula to take out a few scoops. Now the amount of wax you'll end up requiring really depends on how big you're going to want your pendant, but we're going to use these jeweler's wax wires to create a bail after the fact. And I'll show you how to do that. So you'll need an X-Acto knife as well, because we'll need it when we are cutting the bail and forming it. And we will also need some parchment paper, also known as baking paper here in Australia. And now I'm going to take out a couple of little scoops from the tub. It's quite tough to actually carve into with your spatula. I didn't heat my spatula up, but I'm pretty sure if you did, it might be a little bit easier for you to get it out. So I'm going to pull out 3 scoops. I'm going to merge it all into one little ball, which you'll see in the next step. And it's really important to get the wax really warm and pliable before making your fingerprints. So here's my little ball, and what I'm doing is you'll see that I'm actually pressing it down and smushing it around, and that's because you don't want any cracks or creases in the wax before you take your impression, because all of those inconsistencies will come up in the casting. So I'm just rolling it around until it's nice and warm and pliable, and now moving it between the palm of my hands. Once you're ready, you can pop the little ball of wax onto the parchment paper, and you're going to take the finger that you'd like to capture an impression of, and you're going to press down as hard as you can. Now you want to wiggle around to get a deep impression, but you don't want to dull it out by moving too much. And you don't want to press too hard either, because you'll end up thinning out the wax and you might have issues with casting something if it's too thin. So make sure that it's not too thin, especially in the middle. If it is, just try again. So the next step is to take some of our jeweler's wax wires. I'm using a 14 gauge Freeman & Co. wax wire. This is just an assorted box because I find it handy, but you can buy it on a spool. And I usually just form the jump ring around a little wooden brush or any type of dowel or mandrel that you might have on standby. Doesn't really matter, but get it to the size that you desire. And then once you've semi-formed it, you'll be able to take it off your mandrel and connect it all before attaching it to the pendant. Now this wire is great. As you can see, it's got really good memory, so it's not going to deform itself. And all I'm doing is I'm going to bring the ends together of that jump ring, and I'm just going to remove or chop the jump ring off from the main stretch of wire. So I'm chopping it down here in the bottom right corner. I'm almost off the screen. Oops. But I usually seal the jump ring to itself first before I move it and attach it to my piece of jewellery. So I'm just using this soldering pen, as you can see, and it's set very low because it's a low melting temperature wire, 150 degrees Celsius. And then you're just adding some of that molten wire to that entire junction there. Don't add too much because it gets really messy, and if you don't have enough, your jump ring might split open, or potentially it might happen during casting and you'll get a weird sort of broken jump ring. Anyhow, so I'm sealing it to itself by adding extra wire, molten wire, around it. Now, the fun part, make sure you've got no dust floating around on your bench peg, preferably, because it will catch and you'll end up seeing it in your casting. But I'm picking up a bit of extra wire, a little molten blob, and just applying that to that junction area right there. Now, we're not finished yet. We're going to wait a few seconds, and then we have to fill that entire seam around the entire junction with some more molten wax, because this is not a secure connection yet. So I'm going to work my way around until all of that is filled out. And don't worry if it looks a bit lumpy and bumpy. There's really not much you can do until you get the casting back, because you'll be able to clean it up then, and you're better off to have a little bit more wax than not enough. Now, I prepare my jump rings like this because I find it always usually works without fail, and it's convenient as well. If you wanted to, you could also attach a jump ring to your fingerprint pendant separately by soldering it on. It's entirely personal choice. But there we have it. We've got our fingerprint pendant, moderate thickness, with a lovely jump ring that will be cast as one piece.